You need to have, I'll say, the motivation. Doesn't have to be motivation, but the will to get up and start doing the exercise. That way it would affect your brain. That way you could start focusing on whatever you need to focus on your obstacle. In his case, my really good friend, it was a business that was falling apart. So you probably heard a lot of times, people say, push forward, don't stop, push forward, push forward. Now, I have to say, I'm guilty of some of that push forward mentality. But 1 second, stop. Stop right now before pushing forward. Hi, welcome. What an honor to have you on the channel. I believe that in life we are here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must start with investing in ourselves. I believe in you, and this channel is going to give you tools to help you overcome your challenges and light your path. Let's start. When was the last time you faced an obstacle? I'm talking about any obstacle, any challenge. Some of you might have been this morning, just waking up, getting out of bed. And then throughout the day, I'm sure you went through a lot of challenges. Some are smaller, what to eat. Some are bigger in the business, or maybe argument you had with your spouse or with yourself. But all of us, not many of us, over here I can say all of us face obstacles every day. Some are big, some are small, some are life-changing. There are a variety of different kinds. It could be in your health, it could be in your sports, it could be, like I said, in your relationship, in your business. I remember talking to a friend. It was, I think it was like a few years, two years ago probably. And he was having major problems with his business. And he had no clue what's the next step. Every day he was talking to me, he said, Yair, it's challenging me, it's challenging my family. I really have no clue what to do. Now, the obstacle when you have a business that is kind of falling apart, it's not one obstacle, it's a lot of them. And sometimes you can't pay your bills, and sometimes you have a hard time breathing because you have so much stress. There's so many obstacles when it comes to a business that is falling down. But I remember him telling me, I'm lost. I'm lost in the dark. Everything is dark around me. I don't see any light. I don't see anything changing. Everything is going to stay the same. I wish it would have stayed the same. I think it's going to get a lot worse. And he was really worried. And of course, it also affected his health. I remember that time he also wanted to start getting into shape, maybe as a solution. And a lot of people say, when you start exercising, so it works on your brain and, you might feel better. But he had zero motivation to do it. And forget about the fact that also exercise is a process. You don't just start and in one day you're in shape. It doesn't work like that. But before that, you need to have, I'll say, the motivation. Doesn't have to be motivation, but the will to get up and start doing the exercise. That way it would affect your brain. That way you could start focusing on whatever you need to focus on your obstacle. In his case, my really good friend, it was a business that was falling apart. So you probably heard a lot of times, people say, push forward, don't stop, push forward. Now, I have to say, I'm guilty of some of that push forward mentality. But 1 second, stop. Stop right now before pushing forward. In order to overcome your obstacles and face any challenge you want, before you break it down into steps of how to do this, how to do that, you need to realize what's happening around you. You need to stop for a second, look at the process. There are a few steps, I'll say there are a lot of steps to overcoming each obstacle, but there are 5 main steps, and those 5 steps are critical. First in order to start the engine. You might buy a new car, a really great new car, all fancy and drives really well. If you won't start the engine, nothing will happen, right? The car will stay in its place. Well, unless it's downhill, then it will go all the way down. But you have to start the engine. In order to start the engine, the first step out of those 5 steps is crucial. You know, it's a must. Because when you're in a challenge, when you're facing a serious obstacle, I'm not talking about what to eat in this afternoon for lunch or whatever it is. When you're facing a serious obstacle, everything around you is dark. You can't see anything. You think that's the whole world. Nothing is going to change. So when you face those obstacles, there are 5 steps, but step number 1 is the most crucial, and that is trust the process. Life is a process. Whatever you're going through right now is a process. Was it always like that? I'm assuming it wasn't, right? Why not? Because you had different things happening in life before that. Life is a process. Whatever is happening today won't happen tomorrow, or tomorrow will happen in a different variation. The good news about that is, you know, they say this too shall pass. So also this phase that you're going through, that you have no clue what's the next step, or you do have a clue what's the next step, but you don't know what's the next few steps, it will pass. Life is going to continue. You're going to grow if you live the right way. You know, also the opposite, if now you're having a huge success, whatever that is, and you're really excited and you're high, you know, you could see with a lot of athletes or people who get to the top, and you know, they get to that prize that they wanted to get to, or you know, even in every life that you have this goal, you get there and you know, you're so happy, but then this too shall pass. You keep on with life and you go and strive and get up to be a better person and have new goals. So always trust the process. That's step number 1. That's a must. You know, life is a process. We're here. It's one big process. So whatever you're going through, trust the process. You know, I don't know if you can see, but the sun is rising behind me. A few, like 2 hours ago, even less, it was dark. If you wouldn't have known the sun is going to rise, you would have said, whoa, you know, everything's dark around me. I can't see. I want some light. But when you realize it's a process, some of the day we're going to have daylight, and then at night it's going to be night, but the sun is rising. The sun is part of the process. After the dark, the sun rises. So step 1, trust the process. Step number 2, learn. Whatever it is you're going through, whatever obstacle it is, there's so many data out there that you could learn from about that obstacle. Let me tell you a small secret. I'll share this one with you. You're not the first one to go through this obstacle. People before you went through it, learn. Now when you learn, don't look to be the expert. Get 70% of the right knowledge you need. You got about 70% of the knowledge? Perfect. You learn what you need to do. Focus on that one next step. Again, learn and focus on that one next step. After you did that, take action. Because you know, you could learn all day and all night, but if you don't take action, nothing will happen. After you take action, something is going to happen, right? You have no clue what it is. I have no clue what it is. But something is going to happen since you took action. Now, that something might be something you want to maintain, something that is good for you and you want to keep it close to you and have it with you through the rest of the process. Or it might be something that really hurts. You might fall, and that can hurt, and that can affect you and the people around you. But whatever it is, it's a lesson. So after you take action, now it's the time to reflect and understand, okay, what happened here? What can I learn? What's the lesson behind what I went through right now? After you did that, amazing. Now is the time to push forward. Now is the time that after you have that lesson in your hand, those lessons in your hand, now you implement and now you push forward. So I'm reminding you, there's a process of life in general, in the big picture. Always, you know, whatever you're going through, everything is dark, zoom out. You zoomed out, okay, perfect. Now, step number 1, we spoke about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? But most important, if you want to find the energy to do it, to start with step number 2 of learning, you need to realize life is a process. And whatever you're going through, whatever challenge it is, I believe in you. You're here in this world. There's a reason you're here. I believe you could overcome it. Understand life is a process, whatever it is you're going through. By the way, it might just be, I'm trying to get into shape. I remember when I was trying to get into good shape and start exercising, I think it was after like, I don't know, maybe after 3 minutes of running, or maybe even 2, I would fall apart. I was able to do 0 pull-ups, and it was a process. You know, now I'm in a whole different place, a whole different world, but it wasn't in one day, it was a process. If I would have gave up at the beginning, so I wouldn't have got where I got today. Whatever obstacle it is right now you're going through, it might be big, it might be small, it might be big for you and small for someone else. To be honest, I don't care what's someone else, how is someone else looking at this challenge. I'm talking about you right now, and I believe you can go through this and you could overcome this challenge and obstacle. So take right now, let's start with 1, because if you'll try to do this process with too many obstacles, you'll get lost and you won't even want to start. Take 1 obstacle, okay? Zoom out, look at the big picture. Perfect. You zoomed out. Number 2, learn. Go and learn from people who got to wherever you want to get. Learn how they got through these obstacles. Amazing, you learned. Now you got like about 70% knowledge. You don't need 100. Take action. Take action, do something. You did something, perfect, reflect. Whatever it is you learned, whether you learned to maintain something with you or you want to improve something next time, perfect. Implement that learning, and now you can take action again and grow. So whatever it is you have in life, trust in yourself. You're here for a reason. And don't forget, life is a process. I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.